Hey guys, and welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm going to bring you another episode of National League South preview for the weekend's games. So there's another round of fixtures, all 22 teams in action, 11 games, big games at the top and the bottom of the league, so let's get straight into the video. The first game is one that could be a real upset as Bath City take on Woking. Bath obviously are the best form team in the division. They're top best scorers at home, they've also got the best defence. And they're currently 5th in the league on 63, with Woking in 2nd on 73, 2 behind Torquay, haven't played a game more. As I said, this could go either way. I could easily see this going either way. Woking had a shocking result last week, losing 1-0, obviously at home to Slough, which was a real upset. Bath are in real good form. They're obviously looking to get a playoff place. They're really strong in the playoffs, so they can get a automatic semi-final place, hopefully not welling out. And I can easily see this going either way. As I said, Bath are currently the 5th best home team in the division. Away from home, Woking are the 2nd best away team, however, but Bath do score goals, and I can easily see this going being an upset. So I think Bath will win this 2-1. I think, however, the Woking will take the lead. I think they'll throw it away. I think Bath will win this 2-1. I think this will be an upset, and it could all but end Woking's title hopes. This game is between Chelmsford City and Oxford City. So Chelmsford City obviously are really in a strong position at the moment inside the playoffs. They're currently in 4th place on 63 points. Game in hand on Welling, so they could easily get up into that automatic semi-final place. Oxford, on the other hand, are in 14th place on 47 from 36, with nothing much to play for really. I think they should be safe from relegation after their recent 2 wins over Dulwich and Thurrock. So Chelmsford's last 5 games are unbeaten. They've obviously won 3-0 at Truro, and their last 4 games have been draws. Oxford are win-win, loss-loss-win. The 2 recent wins coming at home to Dulwich and away to Thurrock. So in fact, they could have a chance of a little bit of a shock result here with Oxford. Got nothing to play for, so they can just go out and with nothing to lose. But I think Chelmsford have just that little bit more quality, and I think they will just have too much for Oxford, and I think they'll win this one. I think Chelmsford it'll be high scoring because Oxford have scored a lot recently. I think Chelmsford will be winning this one 3-2. I think Oxford will take the lead in this one as well. I think Chelmsford will turn it around and win 3-2. So I'm going for a win for Chelmsford here. The former teams in the division, Concord Rangers, go up against rock bottom of the league, Weston-super-Mare. So Weston-super-Mare's relegation is all but confirmed now. It's all very likely they'll be playing 7 Premier League South football next season. Concord, on the other hand, still have aspirations for a playoff race as they're currently in 9th place, 3 points off Billericay with a better goal difference, so they can easily get into those playoffs, even overtaking Wealdstone at 8th too. They're currently the 7th best form team in the division with 8 points in the last 5 games, in contrast to Weston being 20th with just 2 from 5 from the last 5 games. Away from home, Weston are pretty atrocious. They're 19th, they've only got 16 points from the 18 games away from home, and in contrast, Concord, as I've said multiple times, it's a real tough place to go, Canvey Island. They were narrowly beaten by Torquay last week, just 1-0, and I think they'll bounce back with a result here. I think they'll make pretty light work of this. I think they'll win 3-0 here, Concord, and they'll be deep in Weston's fears even more. The next game takes place is between Darford and Truro City. So obviously Darford had that equalising goal in the last minute against my team, Hampton, last week. They were fortunate to get the point. Hampton played pretty well. Truro, in contrast, are in abysmal form. They're currently the worst form team in the division. 1 point from their last 5 games, and if you're doing it from their last 10 games, it's not much better either. So they've only got 1 from their last 5 games, as I said, and from their last 10, they've only got 8, which isn't great either. So I've got a feeling they could go down. I think they will get dragged into it, even though they're 19th. They're just a point outside the relegation zone, but I think Hungerford could, in danger of overtaking them. I think one of them will. I think Truro will drop in and won't get relegated because they're in a pretty dire position at the moment, and I think things could get worse for them on Saturday. Even though Dartford had that sticky performance against my team last week, I think they will bounce back, and I think they'll make pretty light work of this one. I think they'll be comfortable with this one. I think they'll win 2-0 here against a Truro side who are in poor form, and I think this could be the week that Truro drop into the bottom 3. Next game to take place between Dulwich, Hamlet and Billericay Sound. So the visitors come into this one in just as bad form as Truro. They've only scored, Truro have only got 1 point from 5, and also like Truro, they've only scored 4. So they're in pretty dire form as well. And Dulwich is a good place. It's a tough place to go to at home at Chippenham with a lot of fans backing you. They're going to be against Billericay as well, the fans. So this is not going to be easy by any means for Billericay. However, Dulwich obviously come off the back of that shocking result, 4-1 at Oxford City last week. So that'll be fresh in their minds. They want to get that off their back. In contrast to Billericay's form, they're 14th. They're okay form team. They've got 6 points from 5, scoring 8. So could be better, could be worse. They're not bad. They're not bad at the moment, but they're not safe either. They're currently not safe either. As I said, they're currently in a real tough position at the moment. They're currently in 17th place on 38, still only 4 from safety, so by no means safe at all. So they're going to want a win here to boost any survival chances. Billericay will want a win to stay in the playoffs because they're in real danger of being overtaken by Wealdstone and Concord. So, but I can't see either team winning. I think this will be a draw, but I think it'll be high scoring. I think it'll be 2-2. I think both teams will take their lead at points. Dulwich first, then Billericay, and I think it will end in a 2-2 draw. A game that I could possibly see being an upset again is between Thurrock United and Chippenham Town. So the Rocks, the home team, are currently in desperate need of a win to boost any survival chances. They're currently second from bottom on 30 points. They're 5 from safety. They've got to start picking up points. They've got off the rails a bit after their somewhat brief revival, so they've not gone. Things haven't gone well for them recently. They've lost their last 2 against Hemel, Hempstead 3-2 and Oxford City 1-0. The Oxford game was a real poor result for them. They would have liked to pick up something there. Chippenham, in contrast, aren't really that great away from home. They're 16th best away team, 18 points from 18 games, averaging a draw from every away game. So this could be an upset. I think Thurrock will need to win here. They massively need a win to boost any survival chances, which are looking pretty slim as things stand. Chippenham on 49 and 12th. They've got nothing really to play for. 9 off the playoffs, which is going to be really unlikely at this point. So can't see it happening. Thurrock is not an easy place by any means to go. So that all being said, even though Chippenham are decent at the moment, they're not losing many. I think as I said, they're pretty decent. Chippenham, they only lost 3 of their last 5 though. They're starting to go off the rise slightly, but there have been tough games against Wealdstone, Woking, and Oxford. So I can see this being a draw. I think it'll be a draw. I think it'll be 1-1 between these 2 teams. Thurrock will score first, and I think Chippenham will get a goal deep somewhere late into the second half. So 1-1 my prediction. Another game in between 2 teams who are in desperate need of all 3 points are Gloucester City against Welling United. So both teams needed 3 points for very different reasons. The hosts need it for their bid to boost survival hopes, as they, like Truro, are only 1 point off Hungerford Town, occupying the final relegation spot. Whilst in contrast, the visitors Welling need 3 points to boost the chances of getting an automatic semi-final berth for the playoffs. Welling are in absolutely brilliant form at the moment. They're only second to Torquay in terms of form. 11 points on their 5, scoring 10 in those 5, averaging 2 every game, which is pretty good. You can't deny that. It's pretty magnificent. Away from home, however, they're pretty good too. 7th best team, 24 points from 18, even though they lost at Hampton. Home plays Gloucester. They've really struggled late, which you've got to feel for them. It's not their place. They want to be back in Gloucester, which, for good news for them and their fans, to look like it could be next season. They're not great at home. There's a tough place to go as well. It's not a great away pitch there. But I think Welling could get a win here. They're in brilliant form. You can easily see them scoring any. Brendan Kiernan's brilliant at the moment, as is Bradley Goldberg. So I think Welling will win this one 3-1. I think they'll get a 3-goal lead and Gloucester will get one back. So 3-1 is my prediction. Massive game down the bottom of the table involving my team, Hampton, Richmond Borough and Hungerford Town. This is massive for both sides. If Hampton fail to win this, it will be disaster. It will drag us right back into the proverbial again. Hungerford are, as I said, 20th, 34, occupying the last relegation spot on 34, and we at Hampton are on 15th on 39. So we've struggled to get a good decent run of form together. We are currently the 3rd worst home team, which I've just noted, which is pretty dire. 18 points from 18, so averaging a draw at every home game. Away from home, however, Hungerford are no better. They're the 2nd worst away team, 12 from 18, scoring just 16 away from home, which is not great either. So this could be a pretty dire game to watch from the neutral. So the last 5 games, however, Hampton have picked up a lot lately. The draw at Darford could have possibly won. However, Hungerford did get that brilliant win at Billericay, and obviously come off the back winning the one before that. So they're actually unbeaten in their last 4, which is pretty magnificent, to be fair to them. So it's not going to be an easy game by any means, but I think this will be a draw, if I'm in all honesty. I'll go into this more in my preview in the vlog, which will come out on Saturday. This will probably go on the Friday. So I think this will be a 1-1 draw between the 2 teams. I think it'll be a pretty crap game to watch, to be honest. The game between 2 teams who do both desperately need points in terms of staying up the table is between Hemel, Hempstead Town and Eastbourne Borough. So even though Hemel are all but safe, I don't think they'll get dragged into it. They obviously had that great win against Thurrock, which should all but secure their safety. They still would like to be a bit higher up than they currently are, in 14th place on 44 points, 10 outside the relegation zone. In contrast to Eastbourne, who are in 16th on 38, just 4 outside the relegation, with boss Mark McGee still yet to register a win in his tenure. Eastbourne at the moment are currently in pretty dire form. They haven't won any of their last 5 games. Drawn, lost is their last 5 games. Hemel desperately got the much needed win after going 11 games without a win, so it will please their fans, hoping they get up the table a bit. Away from home, Eastbourne are 17th, getting 17 points from the 18 games, scoring just 16 away from home, which is not great, which is what I let them down massively. Hemel at home, they also got the home crowd behind them, but they've really struggled at home this season. We're getting just 21 from 18, which is what let them down and push their playoff hopes like they did last season. So having all said that, this could be a high-scoring game, I think, possibly because if Hemel scored their 3 in the last one. I think Hemel will win this one. I think they'll win it 2-1. I think it'll be narrow, tight, and I think Mark McGee will still be able to win, putting pressure on him. So I think 2-1 to Hemel, my prediction. Teams in very similar positions at the moment. It sees 10th place go up against 11th place as St Albans travel to Slough Town. So the visitors to the host stories come off a brilliant victory away at Woking, which is a magnificent result for the Rebels. Even though they're not going to get in the playoffs, it's still a massive result for them. They're doing brilliantly well back in the National League South for their first season back. In contrast, St Albans are having a bit of a weird season. They can't really seem to run a form together. They're very inconsistent. 1-1 drawn, is their current 5 last games. And in contrast to Slough's 4 games unbeaten, 3 being wins. So the Rebels are in a real good position at the moment. And at home, it's they've got made a bit of a fortress to have their Arbour Park. It's a good, tough place to go. 29 points in the 18 games they've played there. In contrast, St Albans' away form is indifferent, it's inconsistent, as I said. 20 points in the 18 games, scoring 27. So this could be a tough game to predict. I think Slough could win this, on all honesty. They could make a late chance at the playoffs, but it's unlikely at this point. As I said, 11th place with 51 points, just 7 points off, which is unlikely. But I think Slough will win this one. I think I'll go for a... let's go for another 2-1 victory for the Rebels in this one. And the final game of the weekend is a game that could go, I could easily see being either way, as Torquay United host Wealdstone. Obviously, the hosts come off a brilliant victory away at Concord, which will be a tricky game for them. It's a good win for them. I'm glad they got the win. Obviously, the week before that, they beat Darford with 10 men for the majority of the game, which was magnificent. It shows the quality they've got. They're currently top of the league on 75, 2 clear of Woking with a game in hand after Woking slipped up massively last week against Slough, obviously. The away side, however, are a good run of form of sorts. They beat Chippenham 1-0 last week to massively boost their playoff hopefuls. They're now only, of course, as I said before, they're close to Billericay now, just a point off them. After Billericay have slipped up massively too. Wealdstone have also drawn the game before that, which is a good draw at Bath. So even though they can easily beat them, I think Torquay will have too much quality for them. They've really started to come alive in these last few games. They're really starting to push up and get promoted. I think Torquay will win this one 3-1. And I think it'll be massive. We all go but confirm their title chances, especially if Woking mess up, like I've predicted. So I think Torquay will win this one 3-1. That's my predictions for these week's games all wrapped up. I'll leave the games that are taking place in the description below so you can easily comment your predictions down too. I've also need to say that I've got a new Twitter, as there's a few complications in my Twitter. I'm trying to sort it out, but for the time being I've got a new Twitter, so I'll link that in the description. My Instagram and Snapchat are in there too. So don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, comment them down below too. And I'll see you all on Saturday for my vlog for the Hampton Richmond vs Hungerford Town game. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all then.